Hello, beautiful people. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Oluchi Imo, and on this channel, I talk about cake business. This is your cake business school where I teach you tips and strategies on cake baking and decorating and how to grow a thriving cake business. I'm an international award-winning cake artist that is based in Swindon, the United Kingdom. And if you're seeing my beautiful face for the first time, you're most welcome to my channel. If you've always been here, thank you so very much for always being here. In today's video, I'm taking it a step further. Yes, I want to thank you for the love on the videos I've made so far. I know that my views, the views of my videos have tanked. I don't know what happened, but they've tanked. But these 3 videos I've made so far, I think people are really interested in it. So I'm just taking it further and I'm doing a first one and sharing the secrets on how I get my fabulous, delicious, award-winning, yeah, I'm the one that gave the award, award-winning rich fruitcake recipe. I know you'd be interested in this because who wouldn't? Now, if there's something you're interested in, I'm going to be walking you through. Yes, I know that I've made videos that are related to this. I think I even have a playlist. Oh, that's the wedding playlist. But I'm going to make a playlist for this series I've done so far. Like I said, this is the 4th one I'm making in this series, and I know you will enjoy it. You know how we do it. Get something to eat, drink, relax, and I'll be right back. You're welcome back. Now, the first thing I do, like we're going down to business, when it comes to fruit cake, there are certain things that you need to know. Do we say it's the king of cakes? I'm not too sure. But from where I come from Nigeria or in Nigeria, was regarded, in fact, I think globally it's regarded as one of the, what's the right word? But I know that globally, fruitcake is not on the same level as other cakes. You can refer to it as the king of cakes. I don't know, but that's what I would refer to it as. So the first thing you want to know is that fruitcakes are not in the category of moist, fluffy cakes. It's not in the league of moist and fluffy cakes. It is not. This does not mean that it should be dry and crumbly and hard, but it is not your moist, fluffy cake. And how do you achieve the texture? There are things that you need to know, and there are things that you need to note. Personally, for me, I beat and cream my butter and sugar. All right. It doesn't mean that I don't beat it or I do not cream it. I do that until it is well incorporated, but I do not beat for so long. As soon as I'm fine with the change in color, I talked about that in the previous video, and also in the size, I go ahead to begin to add the other ingredients that I need to add. Of course, I have a fantastic fruitcake recipe on this channel. If you've not seen it, I'm going to share it later. But what I'm saying is that I don't beat it so much that it becomes so light and fluffy. Once it's good enough for me, I go ahead with adding the other ingredients. So that's one thing you want to know. If you're looking for a moist and fluffy cake, you need to incorporate enough, like you need to incorporate, like I talked about in the vanilla, but you don't do that with the fruitcake. There was a time I was having issues with my fruitcake being fluffy. My fruitcake was nice. My fruitcake still dates. It tastes nice. It tastes delicious. I have reviews whenever I bake that cake. In fact, all my cakes. But my fruitcakes, I know that from my fruitcakes very well. It has its own taste. So I was having this issue where if I bake, it is moist and fluffy like a vanilla cake. Of course, it's brown, it has fruits and all, but it will be soft. And one thing you don't want with fruit cakes is having it soft and having it light that it cannot withstand the weight of the other layers. Where I come from in Nigeria, the most commonly used cakes for weddings is fruitcake. So that's what we use commonly for weddings. Of course, now things are changing. But I became worried then, and then I had to enroll for a class where I had to learn how to bake my fruitcake, how to bake a fruitcake, not my fruitcake. So I had to learn how to bake a fruitcake. And then I took some of the lessons I learned and applied to my own cake as well. And everything became fine. So you want to know this. Fruitcakes are not moist. They are not fluffy. They're not moist and fluffy, yet they're not dry and crumbly. It's in between. Of course, we refer to fruitcakes as a dense cake. But that's one thing you need to know. So if you're having a case where your cake is light, or it's loose, it has loose crumbs and it's crumbly, it's falling apart, then there's a problem and you need to check your fruitcake recipe. The second thing with regards to the texture is this. You are free to use your mixer to finish the entire process. So when you start beating or creaming your butter and your sugar, you add your eggs and you add the other ingredients that you need to add. You can do that from the beginning to the end until you add your flour or whatever the last ingredient is in your recipe. But one thing I find helps with giving that dense texture and helping the structure of fruitcakes is that you do the folding in. Okay, you do the folding in So what I mean is this: when it's time to add your flour, you're not doing it with the mixer. Now, like I said, if you do it with the mixer, it is not wrong. I do it with the mixer. I do it with the mixer. Other times I do the folding in method. So if you feel that this would work for you, you can try it out. Or if you would like to try it out, then be my guest. What I do, like I did for this cake that you can see on the screen, was a wedding cake. I made a 3-tier wedding cake. High as it is, I did folding in for all the tiers. This was during the lockdown. And I remember having to call one of my staff to help me and to assist me in that process because it was just me alone. And then when I called my staff, he came along, definitely. So we did the folding in method when we had put the ingredients up to a point and it was time to add the flour. What we did was to add it in bits and then we'll fold it in. We'll fold it. I don't know if I've made a video about folding in. I think I've shown in one of my videos how to fold it, how to fold your ingredients in. So you fold in the flour, put it in bits, fold it in, put it in bits, fold it in. It reduces the amount of time that you beat air into it, and it also helps with the structure and the texture of your cake. So the second thing, if you did not know, is using the folding in method rather than using the mixer when you begin to add your flour. Now, the third secret you need to know when baking fruitcakes, if you want to get an amazing, delicious, rich fruitcake, is that you should cook slow, bake slow. I know I've asked if you would like to know how I bake my cakes, and a couple of persons have indicated interest, so I'm going to work on that video. But let's get this out of the way first. So with fruit cake, that's another reason that you do not price it as you price the others. It takes a lot more ingredients that are, it takes more ingredients, and also the process is totally different from just baking a normal cake. So you cook slowly. It could take, like, some people cook it very low. They cook at a very low temperature so that it takes as long as an hour plus 2 hours, 2 hours plus to bake. Yes, I do not do this. I do not do this. I bake at my regular temperature, but that's one secret. That's one thing. If you ask any pro baker you know, they will tell you that fruit cake is a cake that is slowly cooked. So you slow bake, you slow cook it at a lower temperature. I do not know what temperature it is, but I know that you bake it at a lower temperature, and so it gives it time to really cook nice and fine. So this is one thing you want to know. You bake at a lower temperature and you slow bake your fruit cake. Now, the fourth secret you want to know is that if you want to preserve your fruit cake, the brandy that you use is a source of preservation. Now, I know that different bakers with different choices and different things due to religious beliefs, personal beliefs, and different values. Some people are okay with using brandy to bake their fruit cake, and some others would go for wine or orange juice. There's some other substitutes that you can use. I use brandy and I soak my fruits ahead. Right now, I do not have anyone soaked because I'm not expecting to make any wedding cake anytime soon. But I know that sometime last year, if I'm not mistaken, I had fruit cakes already soaked for this period. I think I'd already used them. So it would help the taste of your cakes if you soak your fruits in brandy. Soak them in whatever you're using, soak them in and give them enough time. The frequently asked question is, how long do I soak my fruit cakes before using it? Can I soak it a day before? Can I soak it months before? Do I soak it in November if I want to use it in December? You want to know that any time is fine, but please, you get better results if you soak it way ahead. So if you're looking to do sales in December, Christmas sales, fruitcake sales, and all of the things that come with Christmas, the Christmas season, then you want to soak your fruits right now. Soak it now whenever you're seeing this video. I know I'm recording this video sometime almost in summer, but you want to soak it right now and just let it be. Soak it. There's no special thing that you need to do, except if you're doing the boiled fruit cake that you need to boil the fruits and all of that, but that's not what I'm talking about. Soak your raisins, all of the fruits, your dried peels, all of these things that you buy. I would show you a sample of one I have. I don't know if you see it, but if I don't know if I can reach it right now because it's somewhere inside, but if I can bring it, I will show you what it is. It is soaked and ready to use. You can buy it from the store that way, or it was when I got here, I realized that you can actually buy fruit that has been soaked in brandy. I'll try and get that pack so I can show it to you. But if you cannot get that, then please soak yours. You can soak it now and just let it be. Put it in a container, close it, and leave it in a cool place. You do not need to freeze it. You do not need to do anything special. as far as I know. And then when it's December, when it's time to bake, maybe November or December, you can bring it out and use it. It will be all fine and good. Just make sure that everything you're using is up to date and it is fresh. Okay? Now, the fifth thing you want to know if you're looking to bake a rich, flavorful, moist fruit cake is that you should cut out the baking powder. Yes. Now, it is not bad if you use baking powder. Of course, I was using baking powder for a while, but then I understood that it contributed to the way my cake, because that's the leavening agent. So it rises and then it makes it kind of light in texture. So I had to cut that off from my so I had to cut that off from my fruitcake recipe. I think I've used it one or two times, but like it's not cast in stone for me. If you want to use it, all well and good. If you do not want to use it, if you want to try baking without it, all well and good. The recipe I have on my channel for fruitcake, it doesn't have any baking powder in it. And I remember somebody asking me if I forgot it or if I left it out. There was no there was no measurement for baking powder. And I said, this recipe doesn't have baking powder in it. So you can bake it without your baking powder. The second thing with regards to adding baking powder is that if you put toppings, you know how you put toppings on your fruit cake and you want to be seeing the nice toppings, the way you've used the toppings to garnish your fruit cake, the orange cores, the almonds, the cherries, the raisins, and all of that, the sultanas, and all. You want to see them when you're done baking your cake. Sometimes you see that when you bake your cake, you don't find them anymore. So if you want to see them still on your cake, if you take out the baking powder, it really helps. Your toppings or those toppings that used to garnish your cake, they would remain on top. Like this, you can see on the screen. This recipe is my recipe. It doesn't have any it doesn't have any baking powder in it. So normally when you add the baking powder, that's a leavening agent, it will rise. And when it rises, your fruits would go down. So please, if you want to see your fruits, the way you keep them, the toppings, then you want to consider taking out the baking powder. You can try. Take out the baking powder and see the results you would get with your baking or with your fruitcake. May I use this opportunity to invite you for a class that I'm having this summer? I'm looking to have a series of decorating classes weekend by weekend, and I'm going to make it very easy so that you can sign up for these classes. They are paid classes, but I believe that it's going to be impactful. I'm looking to have demo classes and also classes where you can decorate along with me. So if this is something like one-to-one, so if this is something you're interested in, please be on the lookout. I'll be having the flyers out very soon. But before that, I'm also going to have a time out with bakers where I'm going to be teaching you how to decorate this cake you can see on the screen. I'm also going to be maybe sharing a recipe, and we're going to be talking about cake business. And I'll also be coaching you if you're looking to start teaching. I do not have the confidence, you do not know how to teach, you do not know the resources that you need, platforms that you can use, and all. You can sign up for this class. I will be talking about it. I'm going to be taking questions from you, my lovely bakers, my lovely audience, and we're going to be talking. It's going to be an evening of learning, an evening of sharing, and a safe space for all of us. It's going to be virtual, so you don't need to come to Swindon. No, I'm going to have maybe that's in future where I can bring bakers for a hangout and we meet in person. But for now, this is a virtual hangout. So these are two programs that I've mentioned: the virtual hangouts for bakers with me, and then the summer decorating classes every weekend by God's grace. I hope it will be a success, and I hope that you people can sign up and come on board so we can learn and grow together. I also have a community on my Instagram channel. Just check below my bio. You're going to see it. I share resources and I share more intimate times or talks with the bakers on there. We're 200 members strong at the moment, and it will be a joy to have you there. It's free to join. Please look for the link in my bio on Instagram. Don't forget to smash the like button and to drop me the word insightful if you gained from this video. And if you've watched up to this point, you're the real MVP, and I love you so very much. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments as well. Until I see you in my next video, stay happy, stay safe, and stay blessed. Of course, you know the secret of not having your fruits sinking to the bottom. This one bonus tip I wanted to add. So if you don't want your cakes to sink to the bottom, what you need to do is to mix it up with flour, mix it up with a little flour before you put it into your batter. I hope this has been of great help. Don't forget to share with those in your caking communities as well. Until I see you in my next video, stay happy, stay safe, and stay blessed.